Those roots coming out of the bottom of the pot. That is your plant sending you a distress signal. It has officially run out of room, run out of nutrients, and it is telling you, as loudly as a plant can, that it needs help right now. Most people see those roots and think it is a minor thing. It is not. A root-bound plant in old, depleted soil is slowly starving, no matter how much you water or feed it. And here is the part nobody tells you, repotting is not just about giving roots more space. 90% of the benefit comes from the fresh soil. The new pot is almost secondary. In this video I am going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process to repot your indoor plant safely, what to check, what soil to use, how to handle the roots, how to avoid transplant shock, and what to do in the first 2 weeks after repotting to make sure your plant thrives. This channel is Garden Decoded. Every video breaks down exactly what is happening with your plant and why, not just a list of steps. If that sounds useful, hit subscribe and give this video a like right now. It helps this channel reach more plant owners who need it. Now let's repot your plant properly. Before you touch anything, you need to confirm that your plant actually needs repotting. Not every plant does, and repotting too soon does more harm than good. Here are the 5 signs that tell you this spring is the right time. Sign 1, roots coming out of the drainage hole. Not just 1 or 2 exploring strands, I mean a tangle of roots visibly growing out from the bottom. That is a definitive signal. Sign 2, water runs straight through the pot without being absorbed. When you water and the water pours out instantly without soaking in, the pot is mostly root mass with almost no soil left. The roots have consumed the space entirely. Sign 3, the soil is pulling away from the edges of the pot. Healthy soil fills the pot snugly. If you see a gap between the soil and the pot wall, the soil has compacted, dried out, and shrunk. That is dead, depleted soil that no longer holds nutrients or moisture. Sign 4, the plant is visibly top-heavy or keeps falling over. The roots can no longer anchor the plant because the root ball has outgrown the pot's ability to hold it. Sign 5, yellowing leaves that you cannot explain, and you have already ruled out watering and light. When nothing else makes sense, the answer is often in the soil, depleted nutrients, compaction, or the early stages of root rot. There is also one quick test you can do right now. Take your plant and gently slide it out of its pot, just far enough to look at the root ball. You do not need to fully remove it yet. What you are looking for, if the roots are tightly spiraling in circles around the base of the root ball, or if the entire root mass holds its shape like a solid block when you remove it from the pot, that plant is ready for a new home. Healthy roots should be white or very light tan and firm to the touch. If any roots look dark brown, black, mushy, or have a bad smell, those are signs of root rot, and that changes the approach slightly, which I will cover when we get to the root inspection step. If the roots look fine but the soil is clearly old and compacted, that plant still benefits from a repot even without the dramatic root escape signal. Here is everything you need before you start. First, your new pot. Choose one that is 1 to 2 inches wider in diameter than your current pot. No bigger. This is the most common mistake people make, they go too large, thinking the plant will love the extra room. What actually happens is the excess soil around the roots stays wet for too long, and that causes root rot, which is the exact problem you are trying to fix. If your current pot is 6 inches across, move to an 8-inch pot. If it is 8 inches, move to 10. The pot must have drainage holes. No exceptions. A pot without drainage is a slow death sentence for most indoor plants. Second, fresh potting mix. Do not use garden soil. Garden soil is too dense for pots, compacts badly, and drains poorly. Use a quality potting mix or compost specifically designed for indoor plants. For most common houseplants, pothos, monsteras, peace lilies, snake plants, a standard indoor potting mix works well. For plants that need better drainage like succulents or cacti, add perlite at a ratio of 1 part perlite to 3 parts potting mix. Third, clean scissors or pruning shears. You will need these to trim any dead or damaged roots, and clean tools prevent passing disease from plant to plant. Rinse with diluted rubbing alcohol if you have it. Step 1, prepare your plant 1 to 2 hours before you repot it. Water it thoroughly. Let the water drain completely. This sounds simple but it is genuinely important. When the roots are well hydrated, they are flexible. Flexible roots bend instead of snapping when you remove the plant and loosen the root ball. Dry, brittle roots break easily, and every root you break is a small wound the plant has to heal. Hydrated roots also help the entire root ball slide out of the pot more smoothly, which reduces the disturbance. After watering, set the plant aside in its current pot for 1 to 2 hours to let the water soak fully into the root ball. While you wait, prepare your workspace. Lay down newspaper or an old tray to catch the soil. Have your new pot, fresh soil, and tools within reach. You want the actual repotting process to be quick. The less time the roots are exposed to air, the less stress your plant experiences. Step 2. Removing the plant from its old pot. Place one hand flat over the top of the soil with your fingers either side of the main stem. Now tilt the pot upside down with your other hand holding the base. Let gravity do most of the work. If the plant does not slide out, gently tap the rim of the pot against the edge of a table, not hard, just a firm tap. You can also squeeze the sides of a plastic pot gently to loosen the root ball from the walls. If it is in a rigid ceramic or terracotta pot and truly stuck, run a thin knife or spatula along the inner wall to break the seal. What you should not do not grab the plant by the stem and pull. This is the fastest way to damage the plant. The stem is not designed to support the weight of the root ball from above. Always support from below. Once the plant is out, set it on your newspaper or tray. Take a moment to actually look at it. Most people skip this, they just rush to the new pot. But what you see in the root ball tells you a lot about how your plant has been doing and what it needs going forward. We are going to inspect this in the next step. Step 3. Inspect the roots. This is the most important step that most beginner guides rush past. Run your fingers gently along the outside of the root ball to loosen the outermost roots. You are looking for 3 things. First, color and texture. Healthy roots are white or light tan and firm. They should feel solid, not soft. If you find roots that are dark brown or black and feel mushy or slimy, that is root rot. Cut those out completely with your clean scissors, cutting back to where the root is healthy and white. Do not skip this. Repotting a plant into fresh soil without removing rotten roots just continues the rot in the new pot. Second, circling roots. If you see thick roots that have been growing in tight circles, called girdling roots, gently unwind them with your fingers. If they will not unwind without breaking, make a few shallow vertical cuts down the sides of the root ball with your scissors. This step 4, setting up your new pot. Before you add any soil, cover the drainage hole with a small piece of broken pot, a stone, or a piece of mesh. This is not to block drainage, it is to stop the soil from washing out every time you water while still allowing water to drain freely. Do not put a layer of gravel or stones at the bottom of the pot. This is one of the most common gardening myths. The gravel does not improve drainage, it actually raises the waterlogged zone higher into the pot, closer to the roots. Skip it entirely. Now add a layer of fresh potting mix to the base of the new pot. The depth of this layer depends on your plant size. You want the plant to sit so that the top of its root ball is about 1 inch below the rim of the pot when you place it in. That 1 inch gap is important. It gives the water somewhere to collect and soak in rather than immediately running over the edge. Now lower your plant gently into the center of the new pot. Check the height, the top of the root ball should sit about 1 inch below the rim. If it sits too low, add more soil beneath it. If it sits too high, remove some. Once the height is right, start filling in around the sides with fresh potting mix. Work your way around the pot, adding soil in layers and pressing it gently down with your fingers or a small trowel as you go. You are pressing out air pockets. Gaps of air in the soil cause dry zones that roots cannot cross. The soil should be firm enough that the plant stands upright without support, but not so compacted that water cannot move through it. Do not push down hard. A gentle, even press is enough. Fill to about 1 inch below the rim, your planting depth goal. Do not bury the stem deeper than it was in the old pot. The stem tissue above the root line is not designed to be underground, and burying it too deep leads to rot at the base over time. Step 5, the first watering. After repotting, water your plant thoroughly and slowly. You are doing 2 things with this watering. You are helping the soil settle around the roots by eliminating any remaining air pockets. The water pulls the soil particles into contact with the root surface. And you are checking that your drainage is working properly. Water until you see it draining freely from the bottom. If water is pooling on the surface and not soaking in, the soil may have been pressed too firmly. Gently poke a few holes in the surface with a chopstick or pencil to open it up. After this first watering, do not water again until the top 2 inches of soil are dry to the touch. This is not the time to be generous with water. The roots are slightly stressed from the move and they do not need excess moisture sitting around them. That is the perfect condition for root rot to start. Now the aftercare, and this is where most repots succeed or fail, because people do the repot right and then undo it in the first 2 weeks. Here is your 2-week rule. First, keep the plant out of direct sunlight for the first 2 weeks. Place it in bright, indirect light only. The roots have just been disturbed and the plant temporarily cannot absorb water as efficiently as normal. Strong direct sun causes moisture to evaporate from the leaves faster than the compromised roots can replace it. This causes wilting, leaf drop, and brown tips, even though you just gave it a perfect new home. Bright indirect light puts the least demand on the root system while it reestablishes. Second, do not fertilize for 4 to 6 weeks. Fresh potting mix already contains nutrients. Adding fertilizer on top of stressed, disturbed roots is like giving a full meal to someone who just had surgery. The roots cannot process it, the nutrients sit in the soil as salts, and they burn the very roots you are trying to help recover. Repotting done right is one of the most impactful things you can do for an indoor plant. Fresh soil, correct pot size, healthy roots, and the right 2-week aftercare, that is the complete picture. The plant that was drooping and root-bound will look unrecognizable in 6 to 8 weeks. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and share it with someone who has a plant that needs a fresh start. That one share genuinely helps this channel grow. Subscribe for a new plant care video every week. And drop a comment below telling me which plant you are repotting. I read every single comment and I will reply. See you in the next video.